All right, on this video, we're going to look at the math between these relationships. But that's only if the lines are parallel. As you can see, the key thing, the key qualifier is if two parallel lines are cut by transversal. The math can only be done if the two lines are parallel. So here are your relationships. Corresponding angles, congruent, alternate interior angles, congruent, alternate exterior angles, congruent. One supplementary pair, consecutive interior angles. And remember, all vertical angles are congruent and all linear pairs are supplementary. So look at that. To be honest with you, the only thing we really have to concern about is two things. They're either equal or they add up to 180. So you have 4 combos with dashes that are equal and 2 combinations that add up to 180 that I circled. So let's look at example 1. If angle 1 is 65, I will mark every angle that is 65 in blue. So angle 1 is 65. Angle 5 is corresponding to it. Those are both acute and both congruent. Angle 3 is vertical to angle 1 and alternate interior to angle 5. Angle 7 is another one of these acute congruent angles because it is vertical to angle 7. So you should have 4 angles in here that are 65. We already know one is. So 65, 65, and angle 7 is our last one. So now we're going to look at how to find the 2, 4, 6, and 8. It just so happens the even numbers. So how you do this is what you're going to do is just look at one combination. I'm going to look at 1 and 2. 1 and 2 form a linear pair, therefore must add up to 180, and you should see a half circle. All half circles are 180. So angle 2 is now going to be 115. That is 115 plus 65 is 180. That's how I got that. Angle 6 is another obtuse 115. Angle 4 is a vertical and congruent to angle 2. Angle 8 is vertical and congruent to angle 6. So all these are 115. Let's look at another example. If angle 6 is 142, that is one of our interior angles. It's also obtuse. So let's look at the red angles that are obtuse and congruent to angle 6. Angle 1 is vertical. That's equal. Angle 8 is corresponding to angle 6. Bottom right position of a different intersection. They are congruent. They have the same measure. Angle 3 is vertical to 8 and also corresponding to angle 1. All those angles in red are obtuse and congruent. I hope you recognize them at the angles as obtuse and acute. So now I'm going to look at one combo. Let's look at the original angle 6. You can do a half circle right here with angle 2, and you can get your blue angle by taking 180 minus 142, and that will get you 38. Now all these blue angles are congruent. Those two are vertical. Angle 2 and angle 4 are corresponding, so they are congruent. And then angle 7 and angle 4 are vertical and they are congruent. So all these are congruent. All right, so let's look at some more challenging pictures. So example 3 here, you just have one more additional parallel line added to this. So if they give us angle 5, watch all these blue marks that are congruent to it. Angle 4 is corresponding and congruent to it. Angle 6 is also corresponding and equal to it. Now let's look at all your vertical combos. 9 is equal to 6. 8 is equal to 6. I'm sorry, 8 is equal to 5. And 7 is equal to 4. All those blue angles are congruent. So I can go through here and start labeling all these as 82 because it says angle 5, our original angle, was 82. All right, so I should have more than that, but okay. So all you have to do is create a half circle with one of these. So 12 and 9 create a half circle linear pair, and then up to 180. So 12 has got to be 98, because 98 and 82 add up to 180. So to finish this off, 11 is corresponding to 12 and congruent. 10 is congruent. And then look at these vertical combos. So all those red angles are 98 and the same measure. And then all the blue are 82 in the same measure. All right, so here we're going to get into some difficulty when we have more than one transversal and the transversals intersect. So this is going to get a little complicated. So I'm going to do my very best to help you. Angle 12 is 121. So right off the bat, I know angle 7 is 121 because they are vertical. I'm going to stop right there and move on to 6. 6, I'm going to use in green. I'm going to put in green is 75. Now, 14 must be 75. It is on the same line, the same transversal, and in the same position. So that is going to be 75. Let's look at angle 1. Angle 1 is vertical to angle 6. That is 75. Now look at angle 9. Angle 9 is vertical to 14. That is also 75. So now let's grab a new ink here and find out some new numbers. So I know 13 is a linear pair with 9. And 13 and 9 must add up to 180. I now know 13 is 105 because that adds up to 180, 105, and 75. What's another one congruent to angle 10? Hopefully you see angle 10, I'm sorry, angle 13, I gave it away. Angle 10 and angle 13 are vertical and congruent. So now it's getting a little crazier here. Let's look at 11 and 8. 11 and 8 should be congruent. They're vertical. So 11 and 7 is a supplementary pair, a linear pair. So 11 plus 7 should get me to 180. So now I know this is 59 because 11 and 7 add up to 180. And angle 8 must be 59 because it is congruent to angle 11. Now, I think the hard part is here. Let me show you what can save you. What you need to see is anytime you see a triangle you should know that triangles now add up to 180. Where should you see a triangle at? You should see a triangle with 8, 9, and 5. There's an interior triangle there. 8 is 59, 9 is 75, and if I add those up and take it from 180, I will have angle 5. So subtract 59 on my calculator and subtract 75. Angle 5 is 46 because the inside of that triangle adds up to 180. Now, look at angle 2 and angle 5 are vertical. They are congruent. That's 46. So how can I find angle 3 and 4? So what we have in this top intersection with those 6 angles, I'm focused on the top. I have 5. I have 6. 6 was given in the directions. Now look at angle 3. I need angle 3. You can also do a half circle with 3 angles. So these are not supplementary or a linear pair, but they still add up to 180 because you see a half circle. It just so happens that there are 3 angles in this one. So if I look at that half circle, which is I know is 180, subtract 5, so angle 5 is 46, and subtract angle 6, angle 3 is 59, the leftover of that half circle. And angle 4 is vertical to it. It is equal. That was a crazy puzzle, but I love these things. They're challenging. So let's real quickly do these algebra problems, and then we'll stop this video. On 1 through 4, I am not going to solve. I am just going to show you how to set it up. Number 1, those 2 angles are in corresponding positions. Therefore, those angles are equal. So all you need to do is write this equation. Corresponding angles are equal. Therefore, our equation sets them to equal to each other. Number 2, this is this angle and this angle. These are alternate and interior. Alternate interior angles are equal. So we will set them to equal to each other. There's the equation for number 2. Number 3 is alternate exterior. Alternate exterior is one more combination of equal angles. There's your equation for x. And for our consecutive interior or same side interior, this is one of our 2 combos that add up to 180. Same side interior angles, otherwise known as consecutive angles, are supplementary. That's why this equation looks different, because those angles are not equal. They add up to 180. So let's take a look at this craziness. I need to find x and y. The first thing you want to do is find what you have 2 of. I have 2 x's. I have 2 angles with x's. Therefore, I'm going to solve for x first. I'm not really focused on alphabetical. I'm just seeing what I have 2 of. This angle and this angle have the x variable in it. Those are alternate interior, and they are equal. So real quick, I will set these equal, and I will solve this. So I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides, 6x from both sides. And what will it look like now is this. That's subtracting 6x from both sides. Then I'm going to add the 31 by moving it to the right-hand side of the equation. Then I'm going to divide by 2, and x is 17. So how does this help me now? So I now know this angle here is 8 times 17 minus 31. So 8 times 13, or 8 times 17, let me start over, minus 31. That angle is 105. Okay, so look at the angle here next to it, has to be a linear pair. So if that piece, let me zoom in on this picture, if this is 105, this angle next to it must be 75. That is where the y is. So I can say that that corner where the y is equals 75. And there is my method to find y. So subtract the 35 from both sides. Divide by 5. And now you have both variables. So there's an example of what you'll do in this situation. Sorry for the long video, but I had a lot on this one.